Oh dear. Well, back at it again with the technical issues. Welcome back to Nukeshot Media. Everyone's used to this by now. Of course, still joined here with Hagee. This is the practice session of the Fuji 2-hour, hosted by the ARS Racing Series. Here, of course, at the majestic Fuji International Speedway in Japan. Just doing some checks. Oh, shout out to Hassa for subscribing.
I think that's Durton.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
So shout out to that. Yeah, I think he what was it, in the chat, the last stream before it died, I think he said he didn't know how he wasn't subscribed already, and indeed, how haven't I got 1 million followers or whatever? I am that majestic. So, anyway, some commends given out by Race Direction there to Amuda. So on the Super Soft still, at the moment, doing that quali run. Now, it says he's been in the pits not too long ago. Just gonna
check. Only one seeming to be doing a stint simulation there. He's been out for 14 laps. And same set of mediums. He's down to about 35% of fuel tank there.
Yep. There you see only one making their way towards Coca-Cola. Another tricky corner. There's a lot of tricky corners that perhaps look a lot simpler than they are around this particular circuit. And Coca-Cola, that definitely being one of them. Very easy to run wide, and of course, for 100R, you want to be as far to the left as possible for entry in order to carry the speed.
Well, yeah, you can actually, it's a bit of a double apex corner, in my experience. You take an early first apex, which will eventually spit you out to the left, and then you can lift off and just get that traction down, and that body roll onto the left hand side, and can get you into that second apex, where the small access road is on the inside, which will get your exit sorted, and you've got to move over quickly for the upcoming hairpin there. It is a very technical corner. I'm looking forward to seeing the 500s flying around the outside of the 300s there. We've got CJ and Nagati close on track, 2 Lexuses left side.
That's the thing. Plurals of Lexus. Who knows at that stage? We've got Swabbly just making their way out the pits as well, so that could be a 3-car battle, depending on if these left side manage to catch up to that part of the straight quick enough. Yep, seems that way. This could be a good opportunity to have a look at the live timing data, I think, to see the kind of lap times we've seen so far. So at the moment, of course, it is Swabbly with the fastest lap at 131.150. I believe CJ is the closest to him with a 131.386. And the Joe 2 guy, a couple tenths or so a bit back with a 131.505. We know what the Witty Professor's like. He's definitely going to keep on working on his car, and he'll definitely be up there come qualifying, and definitely by the race as well.
I definitely see some like small clusters on the map here, as you can see down by the chicane. Got 3 of the GT500 class.
Indeed. I think CJ, according to that live timing graphic, had a green sector 2, so he could be on for a decent time here as he makes his way through the final uphill sector. He might have a bit of slipstream. I think he might just be out of range. Difficult to tell.
Just out of range.
Charging his way down the straight.
Only one go a bit wide.
Ah, yes. Just getting out of the way of a Muda, it would seem. Did he outbrake himself slightly?
I don't know. I only just caught it. Now I can't
Yeah, again, it's a shame that we can't have the replay functionality for this particular mode, although it will be available for qualifying, I believe, and it should definitely be available for the race, so more features to come here on Nukeshot Media. Hello to Amuda and CJ in the chat. CJ saying my internet is less reliable than Honda was in 2017. You're not wrong, although interestingly enough, it was different this time, as I believe, is that Amuda that's gone off there? Yes, Amuda off at that final corner again. He's really been struggling there all day long.
CJ's gotten closer to Nugatti is purple through the second sector.
Depending on where he catches him, it could be held up here. Oh, bit of a slide, controls it well. CJ, again, we talk about this quite a lot with him. He uses motion controls, which is something a bit out of the ordinary. So, very talented driver with that. Very nice looking helmet as well, as we just get that graphical. He will have slipstream on that other Lexus, and he crosses the line. It's an improvement, not enough to overtake Swablu's time, but it is an improvement of around half a tenth.
It's very close between Joe and Nugatti in 500 as well. 34 thousandths between them.
Indeed, Nugatti looking quite impressive on their debut. In fact, purple sector 1 from them by around half a tenth of a second. Looking quite impressive there on the mediums.
He seems to have a low downforce setup.
Yep, makes a mistake there, just running a bit too much on the grass on the outside. What I think he was trying to do was get as wide an entry as possible. He just took a bit too much of it, got on the grass and unsettled the car. Did well to keep out the wall. Swablu, yep. There you see him making their way down to Dunlop. Glowing brake discs, as I believe you mentioned earlier. Fantastic visuals. We've got hazard lights on for Swablu's car as he resets to the pits. Should we have a check on GT300 for a bit? Pretorius still currently the fastest time, around 6 tenths in hand. Still on quite a long stint at the moment of, I believe, 7 or 8 laps or so since they last pitted on those mediums.
I think he's been on those mediums since the start of the session. I think he's doing a stint simulation.
Perhaps. Oh, of course, I'm messing with the graphics there. On my screen it says he pitted lap 10, but he didn't lose any time, so that was a bit odd.
CJ's coming through, he's got some traffic on this lap, and Pretorius ahead.
Yep. Not a good place to catch it really as well. That would compromise CJ's acceleration a bit, but round the outside he goes. Gonna go on board if we can with CJ. As, oh, there we go. As he approaches Amuda, you see, nice cut back, gets him on exit.
Round the outside again, well managed there from CJ. Got a little bit closer to Pretorius, but that's, again, the difference in cornering speed can catch you out very easily. It's a very easy thing to do. And look at this gaggle in the second, on the third sector. 6 of our 7 cars are in this sector.
Indeed, that's well noted. I think Joe just did a purple sector 1. We've seen quite a few purple sector 1, so perhaps Swablu's car not too set up for straight line speed compared to the others.
CJ had that sketchy moment like I was talking about earlier on the AstroTurf there. Managed to keep it out of the wall. Very close. Very close.
Yep, close call there. The Mad Greek switches tyres, a new set of mediums.
This is going to be interesting. I got him notorious.
I reckon it's a cutback. Yep. Cutback from Nugatti. Gets to the inside of the Z4 of Rotorius. Gets it done.
CJ now. He's getting past Rotorius. I think he's going to be through Toyota 100R. He's going to have to go around the outside. And again, another demonstration of just the difference between corner speed. Got to get past the Fuji now also. It's going to be a bit more straightforward. CJ with a big slide there. CJ might have to stick behind here.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Although Amuda gets out the way, sporting of him. Oh, just hit that bollard there. Now they do come back up, they don't break off like they used to. It's a feature that was added, I believe, around half a year ago, maybe a year ago. It's that the bollards don't break off anymore.
First seen at Spa.
Yes.
Here you're going to see a Swablu in the toe of some of the 300s. Get to see. Oh, Redtorius gets very out of shape there in front of them. That was close.
Unfortunately, just missed that on our cameras, but Redtorius doing a good job surviving that. He's going to have a bit of slipstream from the GTR, so Redtorius could be on for a decent enough lap if his tyres weren't absolutely shredded. Of course, he's on to lap 21 of this stint, so the Z4's going quite well at the moment. Because it's times 2.
Lexi coming out of the pits together.
Yep. Car 25 ahead of car 162. Fantastic hearing those V8s.
I think Swablu's up on his time.
Indeed. Good sector 1 by them. We're about to see if they can replicate that with the sector 2. They are on a fresh set of tyres. They lost a little bit of time. They're a 10th down. Making their way through Lexus, and nicely done there. Again, look at the marbles being built up already around the outside of some of these corners.
Especially if you get on those marbles there at final corner, Panasonic corner. You get on the marbles, it brings you out to my AstroTurf. We can probably get an onboard of it from one or two. Either car 25 or car 162.
I'm going on board with 162 here as we're making our way through. There you see, to the left of screen, very treacherous stuff. The model's clearly not towards the inside, but you'd want as wide an entry as possible going through there again to maximise speed on the straight. And of course, as Hagen mentioned, the AstroTurf lurking on the outside, and it's very bumpy out there, which unsettles the car and can lead to oversteer.
About to come across the line here. Might be an improvement. It is. He actually tops the timesheets there on the medium compound.
Very impressive lap there by the Joe 2 guy. Mentioned he'd definitely be up there, and it is the case by 3/10 clear over his Simpac teammate. It's a 1:32.107. Oh, and wait, is it? No, that can't be right. I think I've got a
1
wrong
minute
time.
30.8.
There we go. The timing sheet here seems to work better. It is a 1:30.807 there, as Hagee mentioned. The first 1 minute 30.
It is, yeah. It is from the 500s. So if we take that into account, with him being on the medium compound as a Tory, so we'll get very close here in the last sector.
Yep.
Should see some real top speed from McLaren now.
Especially with that wedge.
If we take that into consideration with the 500s on the medium compound, you take that into consideration and then put them on the supers, you could be seeing 1 minute 29 second laps on the qualifying session tomorrow. That should be interesting to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 1:28 from home. I really wouldn't, as Amuda goes a little bit wide through TGR on the way down as these two are dueling. Yep. Warming themselves up. Amuda on the soft compound. Rotorius, I believe, still on that medium compound. I think he's going to have to come in for fuel this time around, but to the inside he goes.
Go up the inside.
No, I don't think he's quite got the grip for that over the McLaren. Oh, looking very racy
The
there.
inside.
Gets it done. Amuda's going to get the cutback though. And here we see CJ. Yep, go on then.
And here we see it. CJ coming into the braking zone. They're side by side ahead. Oh, it's gonna be good. There's contact.
Unbelievable scenes. Look at this though, CJ having to weave his way through traffic. Impressive stuff there through the Dunlop chicane, getting past Amuda.
Gonna have to go to the outside of what is now the GR Supra corner.
And of course they must have changed that because that's their new GT500 car. Is Rettorius looking to the inside of CJ there?
Look at this, Nugatti is going to be slipstreaming the 300 here.
Indeed so.
That's one. Rettorius is going to dive to the pits, cutting the pit lane entry line, but that's okay, we'll lay off the practice session.
Yep, seeing pit work now for the CRN team. Fueling the car up.
Swablu is now on a set of super softs, so we're going to see what he can do on a qualifying run here as we've got about 20 minutes remaining of the session. It's gone quick. It's gone very quick.
It has, yes. And as Fuji mentioned that other cars are starting to switch over to the softer compound. I think we saw Swablu on the super softs earlier, but I think it was just an outlap and they came back into the pits. I could be wrong on that. But going to be interesting to see the kind of pace now in the qualifying tyre.
I think we'll see in these last moments of free practice some people getting some quality runs in so that it's fresh in the mind for tomorrow. They know their lines that they can take on the supers. We're going to start seeing some real quality runs, Rettorius on those supers now as well, like you mentioned.
Yep, indeed.
And here's Swablu across the timeline.
Okay.
Start his first.
I'm gonna go on board for the entire lap here, just to see the kind of pace that Swablu has here at the moment. So 183 and braking for TGR, making their way through, just missing the apex, but carrying a bit more speed. Through Coca-Cola they go. Oh, lots of traction there. Now making their way through Toyopet 100R. That's a lot of R's. Getting marbles building
all
up.
that inside curve. All the inside curve there through the hairpin.
A lot of marbles being built up on the outside of the hairpin as well. That seems to be another area of tyre degradation.
He is purple.
Perhaps not by as much as we'd be expecting though at this stage. Not quite a tenth. But this is the most technical sector of the circuit where we should see the tyre do its best. Also be interesting to see if any of the cars on the super softs lift off as they come across the line, just to make sure that they don't show their full hand in terms of pace.
It's looking to be a quick lap though.
There it is.
Top in the time sheet, just about 6.5 tenths there.
There you see, around 6 tenths gained in that final sector alone.
We've got Rettorius on his first time lap on the supers.
Yep, they're making their way through the final sector, and now, as I was corrected, GR Supra corner.
Seems slightly hesitant on the power there, out of Panasonic.
Seems to be the case. We're going to see what kind of time they can do. I think it's going to be a 138. There it is, 138.8. That's 8 tenths, nearly 9 tenths of an improvement there. That firmly cements their pace at the top of the GT300 class, but of course I believe they're the only car on the Super Softs in the GT300 class. Be interesting to see if any of the other guys choose that. Of course, Omuda's been on them for quite a while now, if I recall. They look quite fresh though, so he may have been into the pits not too long ago.
He pitted 2 laps of run, and he was 19th lap of run in here. Or at least in this stint.
Through the final sector they go. Of course, we mentioned the McLaren being the only car from the 90s era, so in terms of the aerodynamic technology, things have far progressed from since then, as demonstrated as Omuda runs a little bit wide through GR Supra corner, and it's going to be interesting to see if the BOP does its job in relation to that, because it has had quite a weight drop as well in order to counteract that lack of downforce. I want to make it a bit faster in the corners.
It seems to be struggling a little bit in the car. Might have to do some small adjustments to the tuning. Only one our other GT300 out on the hards, it seems to be coming in to change those. But maybe testing the hards out, looking to see how long you can stretch those for the race maybe. Of course it's a long race and you can save some time if you're on the hard, so you only have to come in for fuel potentially. So it could be interesting to see how that works out for him.
Double stinting definitely an option.
Second quicker than Omuda. I'm going to assume that was on the medium compound.
That would make sense. Doing a bit of weaving here just to warm the tyres up as they come out of the pits.
You see, if we go to the visor cam, the driver sat very low down in the cockpit there.
Hold on, what camera button is that? Hold on. Here we go. I've managed to get the onboard by using the controller.
We sat very low down in the cockpit.
Yes, I believe that's so it has a lower center of gravity, so it improves the handling. You tend to find that being the case with quite a lot of race cars, especially custom built ones.
The guy having a small squirrel out of Yokohama.
There you see them.
Joe and Omuda have gone back to the garage.
Yep, Joe just parked in the pits at the moment.
Roughly 14 minutes of this practice session.
Swablu looking like they might be going into the pits. Are they? Yep, flat out into the pits. Well, a bit of a lift, but a bit reckless. It looked like they were purple in that sector 2, so again, probably just not showing their full hand out just by going into the pits. Interesting strategy by them.
Nagai and CJ have been following each other for a while.
Yeah, the two Lexi have really been sticking close to one another throughout this entire session, really.
Oh, that's what we say that.
Typical. Curse of the commentator there. Off the circuit they go. Yet to see any of the Lexi on the... Oh, Swablu goes a bit wider. Toyopet. But yet...
He was just getting a bit...
Bad makes sense. But yet to see any of the Lexi on the super soft qualifying tyres, if I'm not mistaken. So neither of them showing their hands.
The only one is actually now on the supers. He's on his first time lap.
Yep.
I believe.
Gonna see what they can do in relation to Pretorius. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I think I saw only one on the hards quite a while ago in the session as well. So that might be the only compound they ran this whole time. And if that's the case, they might have quite a lot of time to gain, and that could put them right up there with Pretorius. We're about to see as they come across the line shortly. 150 miles an hour. It is
6 tenths.
Yep.
39.4. Just gonna go for another one. We're getting to the closing stages. I think we might get to see one of the Lexi change onto the supers, maybe. Amuda's still on those super soft tyres. He's going for another volley run.
Interesting choice by Amuda is that McLaren. Definitely a tricky car to get the most out of. You can see that.
Big slide and turn in there from him.
Yeah, I think he's still got a fair bit of setup work to do, perhaps, between now and qualifying. No doubt he'll be working on it, though. Great sound there from the BMW V12 engine as well, in the back of that McLaren.
Yeah, of course it is a BMW engine, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Only the best. As Swablu gets out the way of Amuda through the Dunlop chicane.
Interesting from him being the faster car.
Yeah. Ah, wait, no, I think I know what this is. No, I don't know what this is. I thought he might be lining himself up to catch him on the straight so he'd have the slipstream but not be caught up out the final corner. But no, he's waited up too much for that.
CJ's another one close, a bit of a swerve from one. He's gonna get the inside for Coca-Cola. It's always an awkward one, this.
Yep. CJ resetting to the pit. He's been catching cars through Coca-Cola pretty much all day, and he's been doing a good job negotiating it. That time just resetting to the pits though, as we said. 10 minutes left in the session. Oh, how's that happen then?
He's just reset.
Well, my only guess is AstroTurf. Maybe oversteer into that wall that we've mentioned.
CJ's backed out. We're going to see him come back out of the garage on a set of supers as Joe switches to a set of supers now as well.
Here we go. It's crunch time here in the practice session. CJ still registered as on the mediums. Is he on his way out the pits? Indeed he is.
Him and Nugatti both on mediums again.
So they're working on their fundamental setup changes as opposed to quali runs, it would seem. As making their way through Coca-Cola again. Joe 2 guy, car 27. Looking quite competitive. Should be seeing some quite fast laps from him now on those super soft compounds.
Feel out the car a little bit more. Pretorius and Nugatti close. He's gonna go around the outside right on those marbles there. The Yokohama. John Jr.
Yeah, Nukeshot Media today has been brought to you by Ribena. Shout out to James Milner for that one.
Crazy dandelion at the dock.
Nah, not today, not today. I did have a milkshake earlier, actually, like a homemade one with ice cream and like milkshake powder and stuff. It was proper good.
Let's get back
what
to
are you
the
laughing at me for? Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe. So Nugatti.
Here we go, John, to his first time lap after a 15-minute outlap.
I think he can afford that coming to the race, 15 minutes. Yeah, Not too much time to lose. Purple Sector 1 from them as they really push their way through Coca-Cola, right on the edge of track limits. Now looking for that second apex, as you was mentioning earlier, through Toyopet 100R, and then the hairpin. A bit hesitant on the throttle, but just making sure that the car doesn't spin up the rear tyres and oversteer off to Narnia. Braking for the Dunlop chicane. It's not purple anymore.
First apex. Swablu is up on his time in the first sector.
Yep, well noted. I don't quite know if Joe's going to be able to find enough time in this final sector alone to make up that 1.1 second gap between him and his teammate. But we're about to see. It's coming up to the line. 1 minute 30 point something. Hold on, let me get the live timing up again. It was
569.
There it is. That's
exactly 9/10 slower.
Yeah, so I was just looking at that. That's very nice of my OCD. Shout out to that.
Shout out the OCD.
You gotta shout out everything these days. Big up Jack Wilkinson while we're at it as well. Great camera work here today at the Fuji International Speedway. Again, interestingly, I haven't seen the likes of CJ or Nuggetti on the Super Softs. Tomorrow's going to be quite interesting to see whether Lexi slot in to this GT500 battle. And also, something that's recently happened, only one, now the fastest in GT300 by 2/10. There was a 1:38.588 last time around for the BMW M3, driven by the Spaniard there. I could be completely wrong on that. No, it is that. 1:38.588. Amuda still with a little bit of pace to catch up on, around 2.2 tenths there. Through Dunlop they go, as I believe that's Swablu catching only one.
It is.
No, he's not been around the community, or at least this community, overly long, has only one, but in the times that he has been here, he's really been impressing from my perspective here on the Nukeshot Media channel, whether it's ARS Touring Car Championship or here.
He's been very active as well, I think, and I'm very happy that he stumbled small crevice in the Super. It's nice to see him on the track in the other ARS, and then racing Touring Car Championship as well. We got 4 minutes session.
Yep, new set of super softs for both Swablu and not Nuggetti, only one there, as they both went into the pit simultaneously. Swablu again seeming to be quite aggressive on pit entry. He's got to be careful with regards to track limits, because I believe is it all 4 wheels have to be across the white line for it to be a penalty, or is it 2? How's it being enforced here?
It is, well, we're going by the SRF rule.
Right, that states that it's the same as track limits, so 2 wheels outside is okay.
Counts as part of the track.
Right, okay. So I suppose you can be afford to be a bit aggressive through pit entry. Just got to be careful of the wall, of course. It's not quite Autopolis levels of crazy. I had a bit of a scare there. I think that was just my phone's internet that just reset. But it's going again. Got the stream back up there, but the stream hasn't ended. So that's good. Yellow flags here in Sector 3. Who's that? That's spun around. That is a Muda.
Seems a bit realistic.
That final sector that McLaren's really not been happy there, especially this final corner. But pretty much just, it must be something to do with the weight transfer through there. It is a very unique section of track, is that final complex. You don't really find, at least from my knowledge anywhere else in the world, nothing quite like that. Still has a straight line advantage though in his hands. As Swablu just overtook Rotorius, it would seem. Rotorius, another driver well known throughout the sim racing community, but making their debut, I believe, in the ARS Racing Series. Great to have them on board for this. Perhaps we'll see them for future series as well. We'll have to see regarding that, but great for them to be here nevertheless. Car 797, appearing as car number 0 on our graphics, so apologies for that. That's not our fault, that's the livery creator's fault. Just want to stress that. Shout out to them anyway. Only a couple minutes left to go in the session.
I haven't seen the Lexi pull the supers out, which is interesting. Everyone keeping their pace close to themselves. So qualifying is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, one thing that we can compare the Lexi to is each other. Both of them have been staying on the medium compound throughout this, and CJ currently 5/10, nearly 6/10 faster than Nugedi at this stage, as Nugedi looking a little bit sideways through the Dunlop chicane. Doesn't look quite as stable as CJ's setup, does it? Perhaps a little bit of work to do with that, or maybe Nugedi just prefers the car being a bit looser in that aspect. Of course, settings can vary. Oh, just missed it. Oh well, as yellow flags there as cars parking up.
We're gonna see the cars driving round to pit lane now. So finish well.
I think CJ might still be pushing just to see what he can do in those remaining sectors though. I believe it was green in sector 1.
Sure.
Yeah. If it was marginal, if it was just a practice session, I'd allow it, but who am I to say, as I'm not a race director. What am I doing here? Indeed green in sector 2 as well. So I believe the session's going to end off with TSR Swablu. Actually no, it's... wait, yes it is going to be TSR Swablu. Right, having a double check because of the weird timing sessions with Carson's pits and stuff.
A big surprise for me at least. Only 107 topping the timesheets for GT 300.
Indeed.
Congratulations to him, of course.
Yes, of course. No prizes though for practice, nor prizes for qualifying. Actually, well, if it was a championship, there might be because fastest lap points potentially. But of course, this being a one-off special event and being 2 hours long, qualifying not too essential, but it can play a part. We'll have to see how that develops tomorrow. Here are pretty much your final times then, I believe, as I think everyone has crossed the line at this stage. So is TSR Swablu top of the timing sheet with a 1 minute 29.655. TSR Joe 2 guy second with a 129.893, so a little bit slower than their teammate. We've been seeing also a bit of a pattern. Swablu seems to be very good at qualifying compared to Joe. We saw that in ARS Touring Car Championship as well, if I recall. He's been very strong in qualifying.
Yeah, it's qualifying is definitely going to be interesting tomorrow, as we're seeing the last few cars making their way to the garages or garages. Is that correct?
Yeah, garages. It's plural for garage, I'd say. Or garages if you're American. I suppose.
They're going to go into pit lane now. That will signal the end of free practice here at Fuji Speed.
Yep. Great scenes. Of course, we will have more cars showing up hopefully for qualifying tomorrow. There's been quite a few that couldn't make it today due to real life circumstances, so of course regards to them. Some that unfortunately can't quite make qualifying but will be there for the race, so the entry list going to continue to expand as we continue through the weekend with more and more cars on the circuit.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll definitely see some more people in qualifying tomorrow. All cars are now in pit lane. Everyone back to the garage for their respective teams. That signifies the end of free practice here at the ARS Fuji 2 hour at Fuji Speedway.
Indeed. Thank you, Hagee, for joining me for this broadcast. Fantastic event that you're putting on here this weekend, and of course ARS Touring Car Championship as well, something that you can catch on the channel as well in the coming weeks. Be sure to stay tuned here on Nukeshot Media. Consider subscribing with notifications on to be informed as to when the streams go up for the qualifying tomorrow, and of course the 2-hour race session as well the day after on Sunday. From all of us here at Nukeshot Media, that concludes Friday practice session here at the Fuji 2-hour hosted by ARS. Thanks to all our viewers. Apology for the slight technical difficulty midway through, but we seem to have got through it. And until tomorrow, I will see you later. Goodbye, folks.